Hey everybody, turns out that my camera ran out of batteries, so this is part 2 of my Wii collection. I was hoping to have everything in one long video, but alas, this is what happened. So I'm gonna continue with my second part of the collection. And the next game that I was about to talk about is Super Paper Mario, which is another Nintendo Select budget title. And unfortunately, this game was a little bit of a letdown for me because I loved the first Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. I also enjoyed the Thousand Year Door for the Nintendo GameCube. So this game was a little bit of a letdown. This game tried to combine platforming elements with RPG, some very light RPG type of elements that the game just didn't do a good enough job of combining those two things. The transition wasn't as good, and the result is a very bland game. So personally, I don't recommend this game unless you're a big Mario fan and you want to have this as part of your Mario collection. Next up is The Last Story. This is a JRPG that was brought over to North America thanks to the Operation Rainfall ordeal. And I have not played this game yet. I'm still working through Xenoblade Chronicles. But from what I've heard and read, this is a very good JRPG. It's not a very long one. You can beat this game in around 20 hours. So it's one of the games that I'm looking forward to trying. And also this game, I'm going to show you guys, came with these the first print run came with this limited edition case, which I already showed in one of my pickup videos. But really nice presentation. The game was published by Exit here in North America, so they did a very good job of on the presentation of the game. Next up, fell to the floor here. It's Sin and Punishment 2, Star Successor. This is a shooter that is like an on-rails shooter that it's very challenging. It gets extremely hard as the game progresses. It can be played by local co-op, and it's a very interesting game. I was able to pick this up very cheap. The game has decent graphics and a very hectic type of shooting gameplay. And as I mentioned, the game can get pretty challenging. So if you enjoy hard games, then this should be down your alley. Next up, we have Tatsunoko versus Capcom, which in my opinion is one of the better fighters this generation. I think Capcom did a fantastic job. I was very skeptical when this game got announced and released because I didn't know a whole lot about the characters from the Tatsunoko universe. But it turns out this game is actually really good. The gameplay is very tight. The game has online play as well, and like I said, is one of the, actually in my opinion, one of the better fighters of this generation. So give this one a shot if you're a fighting game fan. Next up, I have Tenchu Shadow Assassins. This is another early game that I got for the Wii. It's a below average action / stealth game. The game has this type of gameplay where for the most part you're playing from a third person perspective, where you go around and you try to avoid enemies if you want to do the stealth route, but you can also fight them. But unfortunately, the game, when you play on the third person, is not too bad. But the game, it becomes a little bit annoying when you switch to this first person mode, some of the boss fights, you have to play in this first-person mode where you have to follow the commands and use your Wii mode as a sword. So the game does a very bad job of using the motion controls, which is really sad, because I think I was very close in beating the game, but I got stuck in one of those first-person, ninja type of first-person waggle battles, and it was just so hard because the movements were not registering correctly. So the execution was not optimal in this game, unfortunately, and that prevented me from completing the game. So it's a below average game. It's just a frustrating experience for the most part. The next up is a very charming 2D platformer, and that's a Worryland Shake. And this game, perhaps the most shining feature of this game is the hand-drawn animations, beautiful art direction. The game is very short. It's also very easy, but if you are a hardcore platforming fan and you want to go for like 100%, the game does become very challenging, because each stage offers different types of missions and accomplishments that are pretty hard to achieve, and definitely require a lot of tries in order to complete those missions. So in my opinion, it's one of the best platformers for the system, so definitely get this one. It's one of those games that I think went under the radar a little bit, so yeah. Next up is I guess a Wii classic, and that's Wii Sports. This game came bundled with the original Nintendo Wii, and at first I remember when I first got this game, I thought, oh, this game is gonna suck. It looks extremely bad, but I remember, when I first played this with my roommates, we had so much fun. Tons of hours were put into this game. It just does an incredibly good job of showcasing what the Nintendo Wii brought to the table this generation. I truly believe this game defined this generation of gaming, for better or for worse. But the motion controls in this game are extremely well done, and the execution is just fantastic. I truly believe this is the game that push the success of Nintendo Wii for that casual crowd, that this game just gather everybody together, because it's really easy to pick up and play, and the motion controls they work remarkably well. Like in tennis, it really somehow feels like you're playing tennis. It registers your movements quite well. So this is definitely a system seller, and one of the games that really propelled the Wii into success, mainstream success. Next up is one of the best games of this generation, and it's Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know where to start with this game, because this is a truly epic masterpiece that it will have you hooked into like an 80 plus hours of JRPG goodness. I have to say that I'm not a huge JRPG fan, but this game really captivated me, because it's so strong in all the different elements. The graphics are very good. This game really pushes the Wii hardware to its limits. The soundtrack is bar none one of the best in the gaming history. The storyline is very intriguing. It has you on the edge of your seat. You want to keep playing the game just to find out what's going to happen next. And the characters are very well designed. The environments are vast, huge, fun to explore. I cannot say enough good things about this game. This is truly a masterpiece of this generation. To call this one of the best games of all time, I mean, it's not crazy to do that, because this is one of those games that, yes, it's worth owning a Nintendo Wii just for this game. It's that good. So definitely, if you have not played this game, you should definitely do it at one point or another. Next up is Zack and Wiki. Another one of the early Wii titles. I got this on launch date, and it was one of the games that I was looking forward the most at the time, just because it has a charming cel-shaded type of graphics. This game essentially is a point-and-click adventure game with very good animation and very good puzzles, and it's just a fun game that unfortunately never sold quite well. It didn't do good sales wise, but I had fun with the game. It does have some annoying things like the controls. The game relies a lot of motion controls. There are parts that the motion controls work extremely well and really help into engaging the player into the experience. But there are also parts where the motion controls are a little bit frustrating and don't work quite as well. So I guess that's one of the negative things about this game. But definitely worth checking out if you like those niche type of games. Next up is Zelda, Skyward Sword. What can I say about it? I mean, this is a mainline console Zelda game, and all Zelda games are. I mean, I have yet to play a Zelda game that's bad, excluding the CDI releases, obviously. But this is just another great Zelda game. It's not among my favorite games, but it did introduce some new, I guess, a new approach to the series. This game is a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more straightforward in the sense that you have these 3 regions where you have to keep going back and forth throughout the game, and in some parts that's a good thing, but in other regards it's also bad because the environments can get a little bit repetitive. But overall, this game is really fun. I picked up the collector's edition that came bundled with the golden Wiimote, so that was really cool. And it has a great soundtrack, great pacing. But again, it's another one of those games that you really have to invest a lot of time, 40 plus hours easily. And this game has a very good use of the economy. Like in previous Zelda games, you would just gather rupees, which is the money basically. This game does a good job of you actually using the rupees for a good reason, to upgrade your equipment, to get new equipment, and so forth. So definitely one of the best Wii games out there. Not among my favorite Zelda games, but definitely a must purchase if you own a Nintendo Wii. And the last game that I have is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which is a little bit of an odd game because this game was a launch release, and this game actually started development as a GameCube game. And I know it's gonna sound weird, but this is probably my favorite Wii game, perhaps tied with Xenoblade Chronicles on the top spot. But it's a little bit weird because it was not intended to be a Nintendo Wii game, but the game is just so good that it really made me delve into the game. And this probably has one of the best dungeon designs. Some of the dungeons in this game are on par with Ocarina of Time type quality, if not better. And also has a huge overworld. The Hyrule field is just huge and vast. And again, this is another one of those games that are really long. I think it took me 47 hours to beat the game, and I still didn't collect everything that I wanted to. But definitely another one of those epic adventures that you have to invest a lot of time, but it's really worth it because just the game is very fun, well designed, and like I said, it sounds weird. It's one of the early titles for the Wii. It started developing as a Nintendo GameCube game, like I said, but I think this might be my favorite Wii game, along with Xenoblade Chronicles. So there you have it, guys. I had to make this video as a two-part video because my camera ran out of battery. But yeah, overall I think the Wii is a great system. I don't know if it's among my favorite ones, but it definitely has a lot of games that are worth checking out. I might be doing a top 10 Wii games list pretty soon. So yeah, I still have to collect some games. Like I mentioned previously, this is an ever-growing collection that I'm sure once the Wii U comes out, the Wii games are gonna be cheaper on GameStop and whatnot. So I'm gonna be picking up more games later on. But yeah, the Nintendo Wii is a pretty solid system. There's a lot of shovelware and crappy games available for it, but there's also a lot of niche little hidden gem, small titles that are worth checking out. So, and add to that the Nintendo first party lineup of games, and you have a pretty solid console. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.